and they come with the membrane in it. And so they have a top, yeah.
Medical scientist is typically a biologist who is studying the processes of life, and usually for the purposes of trying to understand a disease or a condition that could be translated into medicine or medical practice. Sometimes there's different categories of medical scientists. I'm personally, people would call me a physician scientist because I became a medical doctor or physician first, and then also did scientific training. But there are also PhD scientists who become biologists and get interested in medicine, and they don't do patient care at all. And in fact, there are some veterinarians or even dentists who go in and do medical science in their areas. Well, most of the money that comes to medical scientists to do the work comes from the government or foundations. So the institution that hires you doesn't really pay you in a way. You have to raise your own salary. So a big part of what we do is writing grants. We have collaborators all over the world, so while we're sleeping, other people in Europe are working, and so typically I'll have a number of emails in the morning. Then I would get here to work, and essentially I'm a manager of scientific personnel now, as I run a lab, so there are between 20 and 30 people in my lab, and so typically I would have meetings all day with the people who are actually doing the work. I'm just more of a cheerleader, trying to help them do their work. So I would have a meeting with a small group of 2 or 3 people here at the table going over data. Then I might meet with an administrator to go over budgets, and then I might meet with some trainees about a committee, and then more data. And typically it's meetings for me during the day. And then I might do a couple of hours on the computer while I'm here, go home. I typically get home about 7-ish, have dinner with my family, and then I might work from 9 till 3 in the morning on my laptop in bed or on a sofa or something. So there's a lot of typing, writing, communicating with people. Well, there's different sort of venues that you can do this type of work. I work in an academic medical center in a university medical center. So my job not only involves research, but also do a lot of teaching. I lecture, I teach in small group settings, I mentor a lot of scientists in my lab who are getting PhDs or who already have a PhD and are getting a postdoctoral training. And then I also see patients. I'm a pediatrician, so I'll go to the Children's Hospital and see patients with infectious diseases, which is somewhat related to my research, but basically it's almost a separate job. So that's what life is like in an academic medical center. You can also do this type of work in a company, a for-profit company, in which I wouldn't be seeing patients or teaching or really mentoring. You're just there to push the project through as fast as you can. And that can have its attractions too. It's simpler and more defined and a little less crazy. But I like the broader mission of research, education, and patient care.